What's good? It's a boy dude reviews, and I like anime as much as the other guy or gal. I've seen so many great series with just great story, great characters, and it just has a great start, middle, end. And then I've seen some shows which started off pretty decent, had an interesting kind of like concept and idea, but just started to kind of stumble and slip off and just not really be what it was in a way, to be honest with you. And I kind of decided that I'm gonna do like a list of not movies, TV show animes that I don't think are bad in any right. I think these shows are pretty great, like the visuals, some of like the soundtrack, and some of the acting is good, and the storytelling from a time was really good. But personally, it's just kind of gone downhill, and I feel like they don't know what they're doing in a way. So I feel like animes that have just got worse over time. So this will be my top 6 because I don't have a top 10, and I really ramped my brain thinking about all the shows, and there are shows that I didn't really like, but I can't say they got worse or better because I didn't really think too much about. I'm talking about shows that I thoroughly enjoyed, like I really thought they were gonna be something amazing. I was excited for, like I was really eager to watch these shows, and I was like I couldn't wait to watch it. And then when I watched it, it had a good like first few episodes, and then it just kind of was like, oh no, what are you doing, writers? So yeah, these are the shows that in my opinion I feel like irritated me the most in terms of where they went, in the direction they went. So let's get on with the countdown. At number 6, The Time I Got Reincarnated into a Slime. I've never reviewed this anime before, and it's a show that it's not too. It's a pretty new show, I would say. It was released like around 2000 and it was released in 2018. And what is the show all about? Well, Satora Mikama, an average 37-year-old office worker from Tokyo with no girlfriend, was tragically stabbed to death by a passing robber. And after making some requests during his death, he is reincarnated into another world as a slime with the ability known as Predator, who can devour other creatures and obtain their abilities. And upon making friends with the dragon Veldora, the slime now known as Rimuru Tempest embarks on a journey to find a way to free Veldora from his seal, encountering many different races along the way, along with embarking on side quests throughout the story. Now, the thing I like about the show was that I kind of did like the whole concept with this dude who, and it's not like your typical like, teenage 14-year-old boy or girl who gets involved in all this. It's a 37-year-old man. This is a man who's gone through it all and he's seen it all, and I kind of thought it was very different and original, and I was really excited for it because I was like, oh my god, this is a really good concept. Like I was getting excited. I was thinking like, how's he gonna deal with this, and I kind of thought it was gonna be a bit more dark, a bit more like psychological, but it turned out to be more of like a comedy in a way. It's a fantasy, but it does have a lot of comedy elements in it, to be honest with you. And yeah, that put me off, like it really did. So it's not really the fact that it got worse, it just kind of wasn't what I was expecting, but I kind of rolled with it. I was like, okay, fair enough. And then the writing just kind of got a bit and it kind of, there's a lot of it kind of meanders a little bit, it's like stuff will happen, like we'll introduce a new character and then there's tension, and then by the end of that episode it's like it's all rosy, and it's like there's no real tension in this series. It's all kind of rosy and bright and colourful, and everyone's happy and everyone wants to be Tempuru's friend, and I don't know, I kind of wanted a bit more conflict from this series, I haven't really finished it. I mean, I'm at, the second to last episode, and I still don't feel that, It's just not doing it for me, I kind of don't really care for this series, you know. And the first 2 episodes when he was with Veldora, I was just like, oh wow, I was really hyped for the series, and then it goes downhill, and yeah, it's just not for me, you know. Another problem with the series is the animation is awful. It's really bad. It's really bad. It was animated by 8-Bit, this Japanese animation studio, and they haven't really done too many series, like popular shows that I know of. And oh god, the animation is crap. That's one. I'm sorry, but some of the character motion is so bad. The character designs are really bad, and what irritates me is like some of like because you got like animal creatures like these dogs and wolves, and like these kind of lizard creatures, and they kind of like, you know, in anime, like sometimes you got like the demon kind of creature not talking and mouthing the words and all that, but they really ham it down with like not actually animating the mouth. It's like they just open their mouth and they're talking, and it's so bizarre, and there's no motion. Sometimes they don't even blink. I swear, dude, there are moments in this series where I feel like some of the animal characters don't blink. It's creepy and it's just bad, to be honest with you. Some of like the human designs are not appealing at all. The female designs are, oh my gosh, your typical shonen female characters, and they're just not that appealing at all, you know. I'm sorry, but this show was a big disappointment and big letdown for me, you know. I don't know if I'd recommend it. I don't, to be honest with you. There's a season 2 and I probably will check it out to see if it gets any better, but for the time, give this one a skip, my dudes and dudettes. Number 5, we have got Naruto Shippuden, and I'm talking about Naruto Shippuden alone because, okay, the whole Naruto series, you know, I feel like when I was originally watching it, it was kind of up and down for me because I did watch the fillers and all that lot. So I gave it a rewatch and skipped all the fillers, and I can tell you the series was pretty damn amazing up to the pain arc. Now, I'm going to talk about spoilers for the show, so if you haven't seen Naruto or Naruto Shippuden, do not watch this section. Skip to the next other sections. We're talking spoilers. And yeah, after the pain arc and Naruto's celebration and Chidi defeats Pain, and like that whole arc, that whole section of Naruto was just beautifully written. I would say after the Gaara Kazekage arc from Shippuden onwards to the Pain arc, were like, that was, for me, in my opinion, that was kind of the pinnacle. That was the prime of Naruto. That was Naruto at its best in terms of its animation, its best in terms of its like writing and even acting, for me, to be honest with you. I flipping loved that section of Naruto. And then it just kind of like after the Kage Summit arc, the show just kind of dipped. And it was like the Great Ninja War. I was like expecting this kind of all-out brutal, bloody kind of shenanigan, you know. And the way it's executed is done not to how it could have done. They could have gone all out, but they don't. I've kind of ranted on about how the Ninja War arc kind of ruined Naruto for me in my top 5 reasons to hate the Naruto series. You can check that out and see my full take on it. But just to briefly talk about, yeah, the whole Ninja War arc, like them fighting these white Zetsus and then people from the dead coming back, and then it's like they build it up to be so serious, but it's not serious, and then it's not satisfying. And then the main villain changes 3 times from Tobi to Madara to Kaguya. It's like, oh, come on. And as the show is going on, and as obviously this arc is progressing, Naruto becomes extremely OP all of a sudden, you know. Like, I remember it took him weeks to try and master the wind-style Rasen Shuriken Jutsu. It took him how long to master the Rasengan, and he goes from Tail Beast State mode to full Tail Beast mode to Sage Tail Beast mode to Sage of the Six Paths like Tail Beast State in like a day and a half. I just was like, this is just, ay ay ay. And Sasuke, like, he has the man, I can't pronounce it properly, the Mankey gun, the Mankey, that special Sharingan, whatever you call it, and it's quite tricky to try and master, but then getting the Rinnegan on top of that, and he's just freaking mastering, controlling it like it's his, like, right toe. It's like, come on, my dudes, and I just kind of feel like the whole introduction with, like, aliens with Kaguya is just not Naruto to me. Also, I also didn't like the fact that Naruto in the prophecy was this child of prophecy. He was this wonder boy, and he was the reincarnation of the Sage of Six Paths son, and this was always meant to happen, and Sasuke as well. And I was just like, but what made Naruto great was that he was this loser kid who just wanted to get better and become the Hokage, and they were doing, like, proper ninjutsu and all that lot. Now it's just like, it's just it's not Naruto anymore. It's not what it was, and it's a bit of disappointment. But with that said, I still recommend you giving it a watch, because despite what the 4th grade Ninja War arc doesn't right, it does a lot of other stuff right. There's a lot of crazy twists and turns and surprise reveals and just great tension and great animation and great story. It's still really good, and the whole series as a whole, I highly recommend giving it a watch. Go check it out right now. Number 4, Beyblade Shogun Steel. Yeah, this is a strange one to kind of put on my list. Beyblade Shogun Steel, it acts as the 4th and kind of last series of the Metal Saga of the Beyblade series, of the Metal Saga series. And what I didn't like about this series is that I kind of thought, like, you have, like, okay, this is kind of a, okay, I'm gonna try and, if you haven't seen the show, maybe check it. I'll briefly spoil it, but yeah, like, you kind of come off this great series, the Nemesis arc, and then this one is set in the future, and it's kind of introducing the whole bunch of cast of characters, and I was like, cool, okay, are they likable? Are they charming? Are they charismatic? Heck no, these are all just one-dimension, cut-out, copy-paste versions of every single Beyblade character that has ever appeared. They are so boring and bland and terrible. The only character in this whole series, in the whole season, Shogun Steel, that I kinda like is Sakyo Kurosaki. He's the only one. I like his design, I like his bay, I liked the voice actor in English, that he does a good job, but he's the only thing I like about the series. I don't like anything about it. I don't like the bays, I don't like the story. I think the story is really bad, and it's like the writers don't know what to do. And they could have just ended it, but if they wanted to, after Metal Fury, but if they really wanted to do more with this series, they could have just, like, brought back some of the old characters. We could have seen them journey across the world, trying to help out other people, trying to, like, because the Nemesis, like, instant really wrecked a lot of, like, it really ruined some parts of the world. We could have seen some of, like, the OG cast, like the Metal series cast, I mean, kind of traveling around the world, helping people out, like trying to get Beyblade back on top, and it could have just been like an epilogue series, and then it would have ended with the first, like, world tournament. I kind of would have preferred something like that, instead of, like, trying to, like, make it a bit more extreme, like reintroducing old characters from previous dark organizations. It was really bad, and I just and the problem is that I think they did have a bigger plan, but it was originally cancelled because I don't think the toy sales did that well and people were not tuning into it. So yeah, don't give this a watch. It's not one for the eyes to see. And at number 3, Boruto, Naruto's Next Generations. Now, this show is very strange because there are parts that I like, like I do like the main canon episode where we get a full adaptation of, like, what happened in the movie. I thought was awesome and really great, and I have to admit I did kind of like how it began, with, like, it was kind of like I kind of like them, like, setting the scene up before the movie, like, I did like some of the elements and the ideas were good, I like the ideas of like setting certain characters up and like who would end up having like slightly bigger role later on, and even if they're filler characters, I kind of was okay like with the idea, but there was just too much, and it was just like the fillers just kept piling on, and some of these filler episodes are just pointless, dumb, boring, and just uninspiring. And when you read the manga isn't really that great either, but at least it's interesting, and the fillers just don't make the series that interesting. And I just kind of was like, why am I watching this, like, why did it just end it, why just end it with Shippuden and just be done with it? Why did it have to make more? And I am just not a fan of the Boruto series, to be honest with you. I don't really like the characters, I don't think they're that great. I don't think the designs are that great. Every time I get excited for Boruto, it's when the old characters come back. Like, I think, in my opinion, the best arc in this series so far was the Naruto, the Seventh Hokage, and the Secret Summer Spring thing, that manga arc adaptation where it's like set just before the movie, and it's basically about Sarada trying to figure out if Sakura's really her mother or not, and Sasuke's there, Naruto's there, and Sakura's there, and it's just so well written. And it's because Kishimoto wrote that like arc in a way in his manga, so I feel like all the better arcs are the ones that really adapt the manga, and when it doesn't, it just derails and just doesn't become that good at all. I kind of would say to watch Boruto if you want to, but in all honesty, I just give it a skip. Number 2. Yeah, Sword Art Online. I remember when I was on Netflix finding another show to watch, and I saw Sword Art Online, and I saw what it was about, and I read the synopsis, which was, in the year of 2022, thousands of people get trapped in a new virtual MMORPG, and the lone wolf player Kirito works a way to escape and get back to the real world. I thought the whole concept was amazing. I got flipping stoked. I was like, oh my gosh, the character design, I thought the visuals looked amazing. I heard the soundtrack, I thought it was just so damn, it looked to me like it was going to be a great series. Like, I mean, you have all these teenagers, and like, not just teenagers, but like adults, like, it's like in the future where you have these like kind of like virtual reality like games, and it's great and all, and it's really awesome. And then one day you can't log out, and you can't get back to your real self, your real body. You don't know what's happening to your real body up there, and it's like the whole concept of the series sounded so great. It was created by A1 Pictures, which is a fantastic animation studios. They are best known for obviously making this, Sword Art Online, Ahona, The Flower We Saw That Day, The 7 Deadly Sins for a time, Black Butler, Erased, Fairy Tail, like legendary series that you all kind of need to see. And yeah, this series, the first 2 episodes were really great, I thought it was really interesting and great, and I was really curious to see where it was going. And then it just kind of was like, every single episode is just kind of like very, very, very quick pacing. The editing is really, 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 really quick. And it's like, oh, it's so annoying because I kind of wanted to see a bit more. I wanted to see how Kirito got OP and powerful, but we just kind of like slide through all that, It's kind of like, the pacing is just too fast at times, And by episode 10, you just get kind of annoyed, And then we get to the second half of the season, and it's the most cringe-worthy arc I've ever seen in anime. It's like, they're no longer in the Sword Art Online universe. It's now a different game, and it's like fairy tales and just magic, and it's just full of incest and rape and just nasty stuff that I just don't like. And it makes me cringe, and it's like, oh no, what are they doing? And I feel like it's targeted to a very, very, very odd, like, fandom of people who like this type of stuff. And I don't like that type of stuff. I think it's gross. And it's not even, like, kind of, like, interesting, you know? It's just cringy. The writing is just really bad, and I wasn't digging it at all. And then we come to season 2, and the first arc is the Gun Girl, and I thought it was going to be good, and it's not good. I'm sorry, it's badly written. And then I would say towards the end of season 2, like, the whole we get rid of Kirito for a bit, and we get a bit of Asuna, and we see a bit more of her family life, and I thought it was really good, you know. But still, like, the way it's written and the way they glorify Kirito, and how every single episode of, like, mainly season 1 is like Kirito meeting his, like, it's like finding a wife for Kirito. Every episode, another girl is like, oh, Kirito is so great, he's so amazing, and Kirito is just unnecessarily OP for, I have no idea how this dude is just so powerful and just, ugh. But I would say season 3, the Alice series, isn't bad. I still think it's not that well written, and the thing I notice is that there's so much heavy exposition dialogue in this. It's like, I swear there are a couple of episodes where all the characters do is sit down or stand up and talk, and it just drains the heck out of me. In season 3 in the Alice series, Kirito, Asuna, and another girl are just sitting in a cafe, just talking. It's so boring, and it's not even interesting dialogue. It's exposition dialogue, and I'm sorry, it just doesn't do it for me at all, you know. The second half of Alicization is kind of a little better. I think it's a little improvement, but it still doesn't make any sense. Like, I could do a whole review on, like, this series and how it doesn't make sense and what the heck they were trying to do, but yeah. But apart from that, the animation is just gorgeous. The designs of the landscapes, the colors, the cinematography with the designs, the way the characters move about, the shine, the lighting, they are just beautiful. The musical score always swells up, and it's really great. The Japanese voice acting is just so damn great, to the point where you're like, it's wasted on such a bad script. And it's like, I watched this series because I like seeing the nice visuals, but then I have to remember, oh, it has bad writing, and yeah. But I'm still gonna give the show a watch, and I will kind of recommend it in a way. I mean, just for the great visuals. And if you like this type of strange, kind of like mishmash put together piece of writing series, go check it out. And yeah, my number 1 is a very, I'd say, controversial pick. I'm gonna say this up front, I don't hate the series, and I think out of all these series, I feel like this one had the most potential in a way, and I was the most excited for. Not excited for, but I thought it was gonna be interesting, but it just didn't, and yeah. And the number 1 is Bleach. Now, I'm not saying this list is in the top 10 terrible anime series that you should never ever watch. This is a top 10 top 6 animes that got bad, that kind of went downhill. Not bad, but just kind of went downhill in, like, what they were trying to achieve originally. And Bleach is the one series that just dropped for me. Like, I'm sorry, it dropped hard. Like, really hard. And, like, what is this series all about? Well, hot-headed teenage smart dude, Ichigo Kurosaki, a normal college life. Apart from the fact that he can see ghosts, yeah, this dude, for some reason that I don't want to get into because of spoilers, can see ghosts and spirits. But apart from that, his life is kind of normal. I mean, yeah. And then one day, he obtains the powers of a Soul Reaper from another Soul Reaper called Rikia Kurichiki, after she's kind of battling this like evil spirit thing. And his newfound powers force him to take on the duties of defending humans from evil spirits and guiding departed souls to the afterlife. And he sets on a journey, various journeys, to ghostly realms of existence. Now, this series looks flipping amazing. Like, I look at some of these character designs and I thought, oh my god, this series looks beautiful. Like, the character designs are probably some of the best shown. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the best looking shonen Jump anime series. Like, I love these designs, like Taito Kube's designs, and like his expressions and the characters are so great. Just so damn cool and just, ooh, just make you want to watch it, you know. And that's what I do. I watched it, and for a couple of seasons, I was kind of okay with it, you know. Like, I really did like the way it was going, like Ichigo meeting this Rukia person. Like, I like all like the banter and the dialogue. Like, the writing is really great. But what made me not like the show anymore was after the Soul Society arc, after the main villain kind of reveals himself and reveals his plan at the end of season 2, or season 3 actually. It's at the end of season 3, I think, or season 2, one or the other. The show kind of goes downhill, like. And the problem with the show is that they kind of repeat a lot of the same tropes. So you have like the Soul Society arc where a girl close to Ichigo gets kidnapped from the guys he considers the bad people. So he and his friends set out to find his friend, and as they do, they are split up and they have to each fight dudes and dudettes. And each of them is like 3 or 4 episodes fighting these guys until Ichigo finally like goes to like the main boss dude. And then we have a long filler arc, and then we get another arc. So like after that long boring filler arc, the next arc, what is it going to be? What is it going to be? Well, Ichigo's close friend, who's a girl, gets kidnapped, and by the bad guys he considers bad people, and he and his friends have to find her and like split up and each go their own ways, and he kind of keeps fighting until he fights the boss. And yeah, it was the exact same thing, and I just kind of just gave up with the series after that, you know. Some of the fights are great, but the thing is that I don't care for Ichigo. Like, Ichigo, he doesn't have a flaw in him. Like, right from the offset, he is like a dude who's kind of popular in school. Like, people love him. He's got a lot of friends. He's got a big friend group. There's nothing going wrong with him. The only thing that Ichigo, you kind of like feel bad for him is that his mother isn't around. But he has 2 little sisters, so he can't be feeling like that all the time, and he's still got a dad, you know. But the thing is that Ichigo is he's just, the moment he gets this like sword thing, whatever you call it, the dude's just like, as he's a Shinigami, he's already OP from the offset, and they do kind of like, you know, lesser his, like make him a little weaker towards like as the series goes on, just to, you know, make him stronger again. And I don't know, the show just has this really like, I don't know, it's really hard to say, but it just, the writing after that like Soul Society art just didn't do it for me, you know. And I feel like the characters, like, there's just too many of them, and it's like, as I'm watching it, it's like, oh, there's this character, and it's like, oh, there's way too many characters to the point where I just don't even care anymore. But boy, dude, Game of Thrones has a lot of characters. Like, My Hero Academia has a lot of characters. Heck, even Naruto has a lot of characters. Yeah, they do. But at least they make their backstories and their personalities interesting. Bleach is the most copy-paste series I've ever seen. It's like it's like the most shonen series I've ever seen, you know. This show was so predictable. Like, the moment they went to Soul Society, it was like, I know exactly where this is going. It's in your head, you can see where it's going, and it goes that way, you know. Like, it is so painfully obvious where it goes, you know. The funny thing with this series is that the better times with the show is when they don't fight and they just kind of chill out and hang out in the school. And I think this show would probably be better. Like, the characters, like the main group, like Ichigo, Rukia, Inoue, and the others are just, I like these characters, like just them talking and hanging out, you know. I kind of like them. Chado, and the others, like they're just really interesting. Like, I don't know, they're typical shonen characters, you know. You've got the cool dude who's always loud and out talking. You got the quiet, silent but dangerously cool looking dude. You got the high pitched girl who has a crush on the main character. You've got like the big dude who's like a bodyguard, but he has a really soft heart. It's these kind of typical characters, but I kind of like that. But it's just so predictable. It's like, it's not predictable. It's just I feel like the writers just didn't really seem to want to make an original story, you know. They just wanted to make a shonen, and it's so shonery, and they completely glorify this Ichigo. They completely make him like, he's the only one who can save us. No one else can save us. Ichigo, we depend on you. We think about you every day, 24/7. And it's like, I don't like Ichigo that much. I don't think he's a likable character at all, you know. I feel like to make a character likable, you gotta give him flaws, and Ichigo doesn't have any flaws at all. He's nearly perfect from the offset, you know. And it's just like, it's like seeing like it's just not fun to watch, you know. If a shonen, you need to give this character flaws. You need to put him from the bottom and work his way to the top. That's what makes a character great and interesting, you know, in a shonen. And that's why, my friends, Bleach is the series that went downhill for me. It's one of the most disappointing anime series of all time. I would recommend you to watch. I don't know if I would let you watch it, but if you want to see it, go watch it. I know a lot of people love this series, and I did like it after a time. I do like the soundtrack. I do like some of the character designs and the character's personality. The voice acting in Japanese was really good. I like Ichigo and Rukia's friendship. I thought that was just solid. But the writing and the pacing and just the clichéness of this series is so painful and unimaginative to the point where I just want to switch off the TV and read a book. Yeah. But what do you think? What is the anime that you think went downhill the most? Tell me in the comments down below. Am I wrong? It's just my silly opinion. You don't have to listen to me. It's just what I think. Thanks for watching the review. Please like and share the video and comment down below and tell me what's your favourite anime flick or your worst anime flick series. That's it. Thank you for watching. As always, Boruto Review signing out.